Hello, future team managers. Lisa HUERTH here. You're going to have to forgive me. I've had an epic weekend. Last night, well, Saturday night, I had an in-home party that was amazing. And I know I told you guys this week about my in-home party tips and tricks. And, I told you about that rock out at your jam party game I play. And I totally played it this week. It was so fun. It's the first time I've actually played it with this catalog because I've been stuck on that first game. But anyway, so good. So good. I loved it. So exciting. And then I just did an opportunity. I went live for an opportunity live video for my opportunity event for my team. And I always love doing that. Kind of put you on the spot and gives you that energy for Jamboree that I know that you've all been sharing this past week because we've had a focus on recruiting. And so now I'm hoping that you're getting close to sealing the deal with recruits this week, or you already have. And so this week we're actually really going to talk about successfully onboarding new consultants. So yeah, that's what we're going to jump into. So you already know what you understand what a great gift Jamboree is, right? Because you're already here. Hello. And you also understand how important it is to get new recruits off to a fast start, right? There's so much riding on that, especially with the extra trip points now. And doing so is going to mean more success for you and for them, and less stress for both of you. So today we're going to be covering how to successfully onboard your new recruits. Like I said, we're going to be using a new approach as our main tool to get our new recruits off to a fast start. And we're going to be using the fast start checklist. Now that is in our Facebook group. So if you don't have that handy, see if you can find that real quick, or just hop to the group and click on files and you'll find it there. I posted it before we even started, so it could be one of the first files in the group. So print it off or have it readily available so you can reference it as you need to. Onboarding is such a critical aspect of our business. Why? Why do you think that? Well, because it gets them off to a fast start. It ensures longevity of the consultant. It brings new energy and life to your organization, which is crucial for sustainability. It creates loyalty to Jamboree. And let's not forget the TRV, which essentially is your paycheck. All of these things are a dynamic part of why we need to ensure that onboarding is a skill that is learned from the moment someone steps into leadership. So as soon as you hit lead consultant, this should be something that's on your weekly, daily to-do list. Essentially, the team manager is responsible for training, mentoring, and coaching everyone down to her next team manager. However, some of those that hit between the ranks of lead consultant and premier consultant ranks, it's important to learn, and if you feel ready that you can roll with that already, good for you. But we really want you mastering those skills at that point, learning from your upline team managers, observing them to develop the essential skills. And you can do that by shadowing 3-way calls if you need to, for like coaching calls, active engagement in the onboarding process, and actively listening to your upline leader. Now, I'm going to show you really quickly what I do, and this isn't part of the script, so excuse that. But I want to do it now so that I can close my Facebook down, because otherwise it just keeps beeping at me all the time. Okay. Let me roll it down here. This is my new consultant group. It's open to all of my team manager teams. Based on many ideas from lots of other amazing consultants. We have lots of people sharing in Jamboree, so you'll notice it only has 127 members. If people aren't actively recruiting or don't have new recruits, we don't necessarily want them in there. There's no need. All the notifications are turned off other than for the questions thread. This is the one that's pinned at the top right here, and no questions are in here. This is a good sign to me. It shows me that those who are sponsoring are helping those people that are putting to this group, so there's no unleft questions. This is just a fun post I put up the other day, another fun post, but they're all numbered, and in each post has a ton, usually that's a welcome post, but each post has a ton of comments with more information, with worksheets, with extra videos to watch, and there's just 8 main posts. And this is the reason why I'm showing you this is because it's a really, really easy way. Some people get really, really, really overwhelmed when they first join a new business, and Jamboree is no different. And they just need some direction. They need to be told what to do. When you get yourself a new job, what would you do if no one told you what to do? And then this just goes into the other things that we have. Let me show you. In the photos, we have a bunch of photos, albums for, this one is, I have to pull this up, newbie start here, but there's lots of files. And let me just show you well, one file, two files. With the newbies, okay, so then there's lots of all these areas, right? And if I was to click on application 101, there's more information on the slide. So it's really, really easy for them to navigate, easy for them to see, easy for them to find information on everything that they need, okay? So if your leaders or your upline TM doesn't have something like this as a resource, I'd highly recommend you do it. It was introduced last year at conference. I believe it was by Rachel Bennington, and all the information is in our executive files if you wanted to find that out. So now I'm going to close Facebook so that it doesn't keep binging. Okay, that's also a really good way for me to be duplicatable as a leader. Our team is so big, I couldn't possibly hold everybody's hand who joins this business. I just couldn't. I don't have enough time in the day, excuse me, to run my personal business, to lead my own new recruits, and then to lead my team, and then everybody else's team. And so that is a really good way that we can have all the resources in there. It's readily available to them 24/7. They can hop on as they like. And then our consultants who are sponsoring and their leaders have access to all those files as well as I do. So, all right. So there aren't very many slides this week, so you don't have to really keep up too much with the slides. And it's quite a lot of text that I'm going to read to you. I know some of you love my accent. I know some of you it drives you crazy because it's so confused. I can only apologize because I'm pretty much confused myself most of the time. All right, so we're going to take it from day one, okay? So you've shared the opportunity. Your prospect is excited and she said yes to join your team with Jamboree. You've now got a new recruit and you might be asking yourself, now what do I do? What do I share first? The answer is the Fast Start program. That can be found in the New Consultant Starter Kit. It's in their Startup Guide, and it's all over your workstation. The Fast Start program did just change, so you need to make sure that you're up to date with all of that. It's the first tool to review with a new recruit. It allows you to share the basics of the business and set her up for success without overwhelming her. It's a really good way to find out what she wants out of this, where she's at, whether she's booking, whether she's thinking about other people joining her. Because this step's so important, I'm going to be sharing words with you. So it's like a script I'm going to use with my imaginary recruit, Tammy. Her name is Tammy. I want you to focus on how I use the new consultant training checklist that's in this group that I told you about earlier to lead the way as I share our career path with Tammy. At this point, I've already conducted the interview with Tammy, right? The recruiting interview. She already knows the benefits of the business, that she's going to earn up to 40%, etc. All those basics. She's decided to become a Jamboree consultant. She's in. She's done. I've interviewed her successfully and conducted an interview that's no longer than 30 minutes, right? Those recruiting interviews are really, really important, and it's important that you don't do most of the talking. So therefore, I've still got about 20 to 30 minutes to help Tammy set up for success with our Fast Start checklist. Now, if you did the recruiting interview, she took a couple of days, then she joined, and then it's a second time you have that 20 to 30 minutes to go through it with her. Make sure that you set a time to do that and make sure that she isn't rushed, you're not rushed. You have a good 20 to 30 minutes to talk through this program. Okay, so here's an example of what I'm going to say to her. Tammy, I'm so excited about your new journey with Jamboree. I know that you will find success here and have so much fun. One of the fun things I love about this business is that you are your own boss, but you're not alone. And I know you will find that to be true. One of our sayings is that we are a Jamily, and by this we absolutely stick together. You will find that there are a variety of training resources, home office support, peer group support, social media, and not to mention that I'm here for your support as well. I just want you to know that I'm truly committed to your success. So let's start with our Fast Start program, which is the key to setting yourself up for success. The reason why it's key, girls, is because it allows them to put into place some consistent habits, okay? It gets them started on a track that they should never really stop. Okay, so once they're hitting fast starts, you know that they're doing the right business basics to carry on to have a successful Jamboree career. So by telling you that that's the key to success, Tammy is now more likely to remain engaged. So those words, the key to her success, are really important. She's likely to stay more engaged and pay close attention to what you have to share. So I'm going to carry on with my script. Now let's move on to our amazing Fast Start program. I love the fact that Jamboree is so giving, and they love to give us the opportunity to earn free rewards and retail product credit in your first 90 days. And that's in addition to your commission from products sold. It is amazing that we have the opportunity to earn big by reaching specific milestones within your first 90 days. I'll be here to help you achieve these goals. Let's start with our first Fast Start period. When you host one qualifying party along with 500 PRV, you will receive $75 in retail product credit. Please note, insert here, it's going to differ depending on what market you're in. So please make sure you know what your Fast Start rewards are in each market. This credit can be used to purchase, for example, maybe you'd like them to purchase Beauty Boost or the gel system or lacquers to expand on their kit, because that is more of a business building kit than just continuing to add the wraps. Just so you know how easy it will be, your first launch party, along with any other additional sales, can average $500. So ideally, you should reach this goal at your launch party within the next 10 days. Our second Fast Start requirements are as follows. To host 2 qualifying parties, submit 600 PRV and recruit 1 team member. And guess what? This can all be done in your first 30 days of business. Now that is what I call a fast start. So don't limit her to just doing it in the time period that's allotted. Like, encourage her and support her to go do those in the first 30 days versus the first 60 days. Tammy, I know that you will achieve this goal as well, but don't forget you get $100 in retail product credit when you hit that. So be sure to share a little tidbit about a great party that you've had and how easy it is to achieve. So I always share this with my new recruits. My launch party was awful, but I learned from it, I moved on, and I made sure that I revitalized my script and what I was doing in my launch party in order to never do that again. And so that's what I then share with my team members. I go through the things that you shouldn't do to just make sure that you're prepared, make sure you have a plan, make sure you have a party outline, an overview. Okay, so continuing with our script. So now you see why we believe January business is a great gift. I know you will feel the same way and would love to share it with others and help them achieve success. When you recruit your first consultant, it will not only give you a business buddy, but also encourage others to look at what you're doing with January, and they may potentially want to know more as well. Note that I'm presuming that she will want to share the January gift, and I'm using affirmative language. You're going to want to do the same. This is what creates that recruiting environment on your team, as we just share the gift with everybody. The third period of Fast Start is to achieve the rank of lead consultant. Submit 400 PRV, have 2 active legs, and 1500 TRV. This may all sound confusing and intimidating, and you may not understand what it all means, but don't worry, I'll be here to support you in understanding and helping achieve these goals. By achieving this, you're going to receive $100 lead consultant cash advancement bonus. May I ask, what would you do with that extra money? You're asking her to dream here, asking her to put something on that money, pin it to it. Like, what am I going to do when I get that money? It's going to motivate her. And guess what? When you achieve all 3 Fast Start periods, we call a triple Fast Start, you will receive $100 in retail product credit, an exclusive Fast Start Achiever pin, special recognition in the January newsletter, and an international conference. As I coach and train you, I'll be sharing about recruiting seeds, sales tips, and booking strategies. You will see how easy it will be for you to achieve these goals. Remember that with January, you're a part of our Jamily, and you're in business for yourself but not by yourself. So rest assured that you will receive the coaching necessary to help you make these goals a reality. So you are thinking you'll want to earn the retail product credit? Of course you are. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, and then you're going to go on to some really good functional tips here. Now, I want to remind you, it is January, and when you're recruiting this month, anybody who joins in the month of January, there is a recruit incentive right now that they can earn some cash back. It's going to vary depending on your market. In the US, it's $25. I believe in the UK, it's £21. It's going to vary by market. Make sure you know what that is and encourage them to join by the end of the month. Who do you know? List Franks. So Tammy, one of the best tools to get you started is the acronym FRANKS. Do you know who Frank is? If they've been in direct sales before, they might know what Franks are. Okay, so don't underestimate them. If they already know, there's no point going through it again. You can just brisk through it and give us some details on each one. So Franks: F, friends; R, relatives; A, acquaintances; N, neighborhood; K, kids connections; S, service or organizations or spouse contacts. We have a great tool that goes beyond this and will help you build your contact list for potential bookings. Completing your Who Do You Know list will help you achieve the Fast Start goals we just discussed. You only need to think of 4 people in each social circle category on this sheet. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to fill in a list. If you are thinking of someone and you can't remember their last name, that's okay. This list is for you. So as long as you know who they are, that works. I want you to think big and broad, and we know many people across this great country, so don't limit yourself to local people. Think of everyone you know. We want to share the gift of January with everybody. Everyone deserves the opportunity to make life beautiful and express themselves in their own unique way. Okay, at this point, this is your time to take a breather, right? She's writing down names of people. Resist the urge to keep talking or ask her questions. Give her the space to work. Do what you said you'd do and give them a couple of minutes to fill it in. After approximately 5 minutes, then go over her list with her. If the list only has a few names, then help her brainstorm. Does she go to church? Where does she get her hair done? Does she have a babysitter? Who are her kids' teachers? Help her to find people for her list. Be sure to add your tips for building a list too. So one of mine, for example, is, are all these people relatives? If so, she's limited herself to one circle. Encourage her to make sure that there are lists outside of each circle. If this is if not a face-to-face contact, then you can easily email her the Who Do You Know list PDF found on the dashboard and have her print it out before your call. Then you're going to go on to discuss her launch party. So I'm going to carry on my script here. Tammy, here is what I truly believe in. For getting your business off to a strong start, hosting a launch party is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Once you show and wow your friends and family with our product in a party setting and they get to experience it firsthand, they are more likely to host their own. Now let's look at the calendar for the next month and let's pick a launch party date that is no more than 10 days away. Let's choose a date for an in-home as well as an online party so that you can experience both ways to sell Jamberry via parties. You'll be acting as the host at this party and you will focus on being the best host. I'm going to coach you to success. Together, you're going to look at her calendar and help her pick a date. Once you've done that, celebrate that success and move on to the tips for the party and the booking script. Congratulations on picking that date so quickly. We are definitely on the path to success. The first thing we need to do is invite the guests. The best tip I can give you is to personally call them and invite them to your launch. There is something about a phone call in this business that just works, so make it a point to personally call and invite your friends. You also want to think big. You want to have about 10 to 15 guests in attendance, so let's invite 20 to 30 to make sure that happens for you. A great way to build attendance is to encourage guests to bring a friend to your launch party celebration. Be enthusiastic and tell them how much it would mean to you for them to come. Now, you also know we have Red Stamp, and many people just communicate by text. So if they're used to communicating by text and not by phone call, it might be really strange for them to make that phone call. You want to push them out of their comfort zone, absolutely, but that might not be the best idea for their launch party. Encourage the Red Stamp text invites if you feel like it's going to be beneficial for your consultant. So this is where you're going to go over the booking script and teach them the basics. Get her to role play the words and get comfortable with you. Suggest that she practices with a few close friends so she gets comfortable with the words. And let her know that her friends are on the other side of the conversation, do not know what the booking script should sound like. So she does not need to put unnecessary pressure on herself. Go over a few scripts that you have used and share with her what has worked best for you. Next, you're going to want to go over a yes response and a no response with her, so she practices that. Take the time to role play potential responses to her so that she knows what to say when someone says they can't attend her launch party. You also want to go over the suggested tips, like not being afraid to leave a voicemail. And of course, you really want to focus on making reminder calls the day before the launch. Again, if you have additional tips here, you're going to add them in for getting those first bookings. For me, it's making sure you have constant communication with those people and being excited. Next, you should ask her to look at her calendar for the next 90 days and highlight the days that she has open to hold parties. This activity will help her be ready with available dates when she makes her booking calls. As well, focus on front-loading her month and setting the tone that we work hard from the start of the month and close the month out strong. Tammy, let's take a look at your calendar again and let's look at the next 90 days. Now, if you do not have it with you, I can send you some Google Calendars that work. Let's look at the days when you cannot party and let's block those out. You want to remember to block out personal time for yourself and your family so that you do not get overwhelmed and can maintain your work-life balance. Okay, the rest of the days are days on which you can party. Let's highlight those dates. It's great to know what these dates are before you call the people on your list so that you have the dates ready to offer them. Let's set a goal to book your first 6 parties. This will allow you to build some sales to achieve your fast start goals and get more bookings to help keep your business going. I know that you can do it and I'll be here to guide you. Jamberry also provides us many resources to help us continue to develop our skill. One of the best resources is Jamberry University. I'll give you a couple of trainings to go to and watch immediately. Now you're going to identify 2 to 3 trainings in a Jamboree University, such as bookings and hostess coaching. You guys are familiar with that right now, right? Because you just reviewed those in the past couple of weeks. Now, the next thing we need to do for you, Tammy, is to set a date to shadow a couple of my parties. One in-home and one online. I have the following dates available. Which one works best for you? You guys, as leaders, you should know that shadowing is the best on-the-job training you can provide for your consultants. As you see, this was directive in nature and wasn't optional when it comes to her training. You're just telling her you're doing it. All right, the next part then is goal setting. We're right here on the slide, girls, if you are wondering why these slides are here. All right, speaking of goals, Tammy, we talked here at Jamboree. So again, we were working as a team. What's your dream? What would you like to achieve with your Jamboree business? Do not interrupt her. Give her a minute to think. If she's having trouble, then you can clarify. Some people want to travel or buy a new vehicle. Some really love the prospect of saving for college, meeting new people, or having a flexible schedule. What is it for you? Once she tells you, assure her that she can reach her goal with Jamboree. Help her map out her first 90 days. Fill out the important dates and information, including the time for your follow-up call, which needs to take place within the next 48 hours. Just with the prospective recruits, they're excited in those first 24 to 48 hours. Do not let it go past 48 hours. Ask her if she has any questions, and if not, encourage her to write down all of her questions so that she is prepared for the next check-in call. This is where you're going to end your first session with her. Now, if you're going to take a look at your fast start checklist for new consultants, you will see that you've achieved quite a lot, right? It's quite a lot on that list. On your next call, you want to follow up on her goal of booking her first 6 parties. Revisit the Who Do You Know list and set a date and time to review the materials in her kit once it arrives. You also want to set a time for your host coaching call number 1 with her for her launch party. Follow the fast start checklist and you will find success. Remember to review booking and recruiting seeds after this training session and before her launch party. Remind her of them right before the party and have her watch for them during the party. So, in closing, I feel like I talked a lot. I have a really dry mouth now. Leading by example is so important, and one cannot be attending every launch party because you have multiple recruits each month or because you have teams that are spread out in different areas. Maximize your time by inviting a new recruit to shadow you. Review booking and recruiting seeds with her before her launch party and make sure that she has a few written out so that she's comfortable using them. Technology is your friend. You can Skype to demonstrate a party. You can also help your new recruit feel confident by walking her through some party guidelines that you have in place and encouraging her to use our party cards. Now, I showed you my onboarding group at the beginning of this call. I use that as a place of reference. So I do talk her through these, but my conversations aren't as long. I make sure that we're on the phone. She has the group up in front of her and we walk through them together at the same time. And I set her, hey, I want you to watch this, this, and this before we chat again, before you go to your next party. And then after every party, make sure you're checking in with her so you can review that information, right? Make sure that see what if there's any part of the party aspect that she's not comfortable with, you can review it and make some changes before she goes into her next party. Okay, so this week we are going straight onto homework then. So putting the topics we discussed today into action is going to help your business moving forward. It's going to help keep that business moving forward, right? If we don't have bookings, we don't have business. If we don't get our recruits off to our fast starts, they're not selling, they're not recruiting, your team lacks energy and you get burned out. So you want to make sure that we get this right. So connect with your leader to listen in and observe a new consultant training call. If you have not done that, then you're welcome to do that. Anybody on my team, my new consultant joined earlier in the month and I've already done it this month, and I have some potential in the pipeline, but I'll keep you posted. Review each of the calls on the checklist and talk with your leader regarding any questions you might have on that new consultant checklist that I talked about. Role play the first call with your leader or a peer. Now, you'll notice in this homework it says leader or peer, because I don't want necessarily all of you going to your upline team manager with this. Some of you or team managers have quite a few people in this group. So find your battle buddy, find your support sister, your accountability partner, maybe just a group of you get together and you try it together. You all role play what that first call looks like, so you can kind of practice on one another. If of course you're comfortable with you going to your TM and she can fit you in over the next week, then absolutely use your team manager. All right, I hope you girls are loving the On the Rise program. I certainly am. I love working with Betsy and Morgan. This week, we're really going to focus on the top ways to maximize working smarter, not harder. So when we go live, me on Tuesday, Morgan on Wednesday, and Betsy on Thursday, we're going to give you our top 5 tips on those topics, and we're going to make sure we don't overlap some of our favorites. So this is going to be a great week, girls. Make sure that those new recruits get off to a fast start. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to getting you all to week 4 so you can graduate. Woot woot! All right, bye-bye.